It's just why they call it window pane. Just gonna stand there, hear me out. Hello beautiful people, my name is Taonga Saidi and you're back again for Sex Ed You Wish You Had with me, of course. And today we're talking about vaginal hygiene and everything to do with the vagina, right?
Pussy!
But before we get into that, a word from my sponsors. I'm joking, I don't have any sponsors. But if anyone wants to sponsor me to talk about my passion and teach people about sex ed, let's go. But anyway, I wasn't going to talk about that. What I wanted to talk about was I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching this. It's just crazy how many people have told me from Pretoria, from Joburg, from Cape Town. People from Cape Town be watching this stuff. That's crazy. And all of y'all that be putting me on your TVs and having group sessions. I love you guys. But yeah, really it's growing and it's really cool to see. So thank you guys so much for watching. But let's keep it going. Today we're talking about vaginal hygiene, right? And everything to do with the beautiful thing called the vagina, right? Now the vagina is a sex organ and that comes in many beautiful shapes, sizes and forms, and we love all of them. Generally, it is comprised of an outer labia and inner labia, and from top to bottom, the clitoris, the urethra, and the vaginal canal, right? Now, with that anatomy, there's also a microbiome, which consists of necessary bacteria and yeast, and this we'll get into further along in the video. Now, the reason I say the vagina is beautiful is because it essentially cleans itself. You don't have to do too much. All you have to do is cooperate with it, right? Because over years of evolution, millions and billions of years, it has learned to do what it needs to do to keep itself clean. But you have to be its partner, you understand? But yes, we're gonna get into that. So a number of things can throw off your vaginal balance, right? Because everything works on a balance.
That right there is called balance.
And I'll be saying this word a lot throughout the video because within the vagina, there's many balances that need to be followed. So how do you know if your vaginal balance is out of balance, right? Normally, there are extrinsic and intrinsic factors that can put you out of your balance. And these will lead you to see symptoms such as discharge or odors and smells, the fishy smell that is linked to vaginal discharge, right? Most times this smell is linked to bacterial vaginosis. Now this is an overrunning of the natural bacteria, going back to the microbiome that I mentioned before. The natural bacteria is overrunning within the vagina. This leads to bacterial vaginosis, right? Symptoms of bacterial vaginosis include itching, sometimes microswelling, discharge, and like I said, the fishy odor. A lot of things cause BV. BV can be sexually transmitted as well, but the main cause of BV is an increased pH. Now, the pH of your vagina, one of the balances, is very important. We need to take into control, right? So what exactly is pH? pH is essentially how any liquid substance on earth interacts with hydrogen molecules, right? How do we treat this, right? There are many ways, but what's most important is see a medical practitioner, number one. Number two, preferably see a gynecologist, right? And number three, monitor your pH, or begin to monitor your pH from today, right? If you haven't already been doing so. So how exactly are you going to go about monitoring your pH? You need to be aware of what affects your pH. And a lot of things do affect your pH. Number one, semen, right? Semen from penises, ejaculate, is an alkali substance. And that will set the balance of your vagina off. So if you can, use a condom. If you want to hit a raw, understand that your pH could be thrown off. Number one. Number two, douching. Douching is not my favorite thing. I find it fairly unnecessary. Yeah, for me, it's got bad PR. I don't know, just leave that thing alone. Number three, periods, right? Inevitable. Periods, you're going to get them. They can throw off your pH, but be aware of this because you can counter manage the pH being thrown off. And I'll explain to you how to do that in a bit. Number four, pregnancy, right? Pregnancy can also throw off your pH. And again, be aware of it and be able to counter manage it. And a lot of things that are going to do wacky shit to your pH come within like things like personal care, right? Soaps. You don't need any soaps to make your vagina smell some type of way, right? Bath bombs, bubble bath, powders, bath salts, all of those things. While you're trying to align your chakras, you are unaligning your pH, fam. While we're protecting our pH, we also need to be aware of introducing foreign bacteria into the vagina, because we don't want also the foreign bacteria. We don't need that, right? And there are a lot of ways in which foreign bacteria can be introduced into your vagina, right? A few of them include cunnilingus, right? Giving head if the mouth is dirty, right? Also sticking the tongue into the vaginal canal. No, that's a no-go. Leave the tongue for the vulva, the external parts of cunnilingus. But sticking the tongue inside is a no-no. Number 2, fingers during fingering, right? Cut you down now, you dirty pigs. And it's the dirt under, you see? Nah, but we clean though. You know, you never catch me lacking, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, fingers, right? Number 3, douching, as I said before, can introduce bacteria into the vagina. And number 4, reusing condoms, right? This is a staple. Never reuse a condom. Can't put it on something and then put it back on. If you've already put the condom down, use another one. In fact, don't even if you haven't used it, just don't put condoms onto weird surfaces, introducing bacteria into the vagina, right? Now, don't get scared and grab a bacterial soap and clean your vagina. That's not what I'm telling you to do, because there are essential bacteria in the vagina, as I mentioned before. Remember, the microbiome. We need bacteria and yeasts in the vagina to maintain the microbiome. So killing off too many of these can be very bad for you and introduce certain things like BAM! You got a yeast infection because you killed all your microbiome, and now because there's no bacteria to balance out the yeast is eating too much food, it's got too much space to grow, and boom, yeast infection, just like that. So we need to be careful as well about over cleaning the vagina, if I could say. A couple of things that do this is antibiotics, right? If you're sick, you got an infection somewhere else, you take antibiotics. Those antibiotics can kill the bacteria in all of your body, so they can kill your vaginal bacteria as well. And this can be very detrimental. Do take probiotics, right? Probiotics can help balance that out. And then see your gynecologist if you need more probiotics. Number 2, general body chemistry, right? Your general body chemistry, regardless of your vaginal balance, can be thrown off of its own balance, and this is very bad. So what I mean by general body chemistry, I mean the way your body functions naturally, right? Your nutrition, your sleeping habits, everything affects this. Things like depression, stress, anxiety can cause yeast infections. And like, to me, I was like, when I learned that, I was like, that's crazy. Like, you could be really stressed and boom, surprise, shawty, yeast infection. So it's important to be aware of these things so that you can manage it, right? Other things such as sleep can cause an unbalanced chemical balance within your body, right? Lastly, flavored condoms, right? Flavored condoms introduce sugars and saccharides into your vagina that the bacteria can eat and overgrow with. No flavored condoms in the vagina. Flavored condoms are for head, right? We don't use them for coitus, right? Just use normal condoms for coitus. So now you're probably looking at me and freaking out like, yeah, get you. Everything's going wrong. Like, oh, there's so much. Okay, look, there's no need to freak out if nothing's going wrong, because these are extreme cases, right? A lot of people will experience them, but a lot of people will go full lives without experiencing them. So no need to stress. But what's important is we have to know how to manage it now. What exactly are you going to do to maintain your vaginal hygiene, right? Firstly, you're going to wash your vagina with just water and your hand. And you're going to only wash within the lips and under the clitoral hood, not inside the vaginal canal, because that takes care of itself. All you need is water and your hand and you'll be set. You don't even need a face cloth or anything, because that introduces bacteria from other places onto your vagina, and we don't need that. Number 2, try maintaining the most balanced lifestyle as possible. Now, I know this is hard for a lot of people, but yeah, if you try and get your sleep right, trying to get your diet right, you should be on the right path. But you know, having a vagina comes with, most of the time, not 100% of the time, but for the point being, comes with being a woman. right? And being a woman is tough. The societal pressures are pushed on you inherently for you. Being a woman is tough, and a lot of the girlies be having depression, anxiety, and that is not out of your control. So there's no need to feel bad about it. But if you can manage it, you can get help, please do. Number 3, no douching. You don't need that. Number 4, no steaming. You don't need that. Your pussy is not gonna smell like roses. It doesn't need to smell like roses. So clean up. Pro tip: cranberries, ladies and gentlemen. Cranberries, I've heard, be working like wonders for your pH balance, right? Don't like cranberries, drink the juice. Don't like the juice, that you can buy cranberry pills at Discam or at Clicks. So go get that if you need to check your pH, right? Also, something doesn't have to be going wrong. You can just take it as well, just for just. And lastly, if something doesn't feel right, trust your gut. That's your vagina, man. You've had that thing since you were born, I'm assuming, unless you transitioned, and that's cool too. But take care of your vaginas. If you don't feel like everything is straight, then get it checked out. Also, no, I'm not a medical professional. I am a medical professional in training. So take what I say, don't take what I say. That's not my business. I'm just doing this for the culture, you know what I'm saying? Thank you for watching this video. Let me leave you with my sexy rules, my 4 sexy rules. You know them by now, probably. 1, consent. 2, safety. 3, respect. Number 4, and to me, my favorite, enjoy, motherfucker.